Welcome back to the Blackbird Shed. I've always lived my life saying that honesty is always the best route. Last week I was quite honest saying that we'd stop the mite. In my opinion, this season's been fantastic about keeping the mite away, using the diatomaceous earth, and you haven't been affected by it. This morning, or yesterday night actually, I noticed a bit of mite on one of the clips. Not this one, but look here in these little cracks and crannies. There was some mite. It was on the cage down there. Now, it's the first mite I've seen. And it wasn't a lot. So I thought, okay, it's a bit of mite. Luckily I cleaned these cages out last week. Then this morning I lifted off the material from off the top of this nest. Privacy. Underneath it was at least a dozen mite. Now these aren't the sort of mite I saw last year. Last year was mite, very small, tiny little mite. You have to really look carefully, see them move. These look twice the size. Still small, fat little buggers. Now they're only covering the same area as a penny. Very small little area right there on top of the nest, nest pan. So warning signals, you know, warning signs, and alarm bells ring. So I had a little bit more look around. Didn't see them in any other places, but I know they're attacking. They're coming back. This is a war against mite, and although we've won the war so far, you know, they start winning battles, they can start coming back at us, and you know, we don't want them to. They can ruin a season. They can ruin your enjoyment of the season, and that's something I don't want. So battle stations. So I got all the dust. Got all of these bits of hessian. Put them into the bag. What I do with the nest pans. Quite a lot of diatomaceous earth. And then close the bag, give them a good shape. So they were sort of doused in it, you know, a lot of it on it, and I've put them back after I've cleaned the nest pans on the top with some disinfectant and some washing up liquid. First thing I've done is I've cleaned out the tray from the parrotlets. There's a lot of stuff in there. I had neglected it, and the sort of stuff that was in there would have been vegetables that would, it's in this bucket here, would have been vegetables that had rotted, obviously droppings, seed husks, feathers, lots of millet, vegetable matter. So that's going to be going in the compost heap. So it's good for the compost again. I need to just clean the mesh at the bottom a little bit as well. And then once I've done that, I can put that back. Now I've run that cage because that's at the top, and then I'll do the cage below and the cage below that. What I don't want to do is clean the bottom cage out, and as I'm cleaning the top cages, dust and mite fall from that down to the bottom. Now I haven't seen any more mite in this one, but that doesn't mean it's not there. It's very small stuff. We're doing some other things, so I'm just going to clean this bit up, and I'll be back in a bit. Now down to the next one. Right. This pair I'm going to be shutting down. I suppose now is as good a time as any to shut them down. So let's get her off the nest. Come on, darling. Forget. Head on 3 pot eggs. That one can go in for a deep clean now, that nest pan. Just clean this up as much as I can. She hopefully now will concentrate on feeding the remaining chick, which is over there. So eventually I'm going to move these into a different cage. Well, I'm going to move even her into the main light. He will probably stay in one of these cages. He'll be in this, probably here. There'll be another cock in there, another cock in there, and we'll have a cock down in one cage below as well. That's the 4 cocks which I'm shutting down. If I get a chance to move them into nests in between that, it'll give me a chance to give this cage a deep clean, a proper clean with warm water disinfectant, and to be fair, the most important thing you need to do a cage is really the time. You know, strip it completely down and really do a proper, trying to buy myself a bit of time. Here's the last couple of trays. I'll keep my partitions on top of here as well, which that could be a place for Mite to live. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to strip them out. Take them out there completely, and we'll have a look at giving them a deep clean. Those can be moved. They're not really affecting the birds at the moment, they're just stored under there. But if you look, there's areas where mites could gather. So I'm just taking them out, giving them a proper wash in the sink in the kitchen, and leaving them out in the sun to dry out. I think that's the best thing to do with those. So it's still not 100% clean, but I've got enough to tide me by to the end of the season, and then till I've got rid of some birds, and then I can do a bit more moving around. Ideally you want to be able to get the birds completely out of the cages, move them to a different cage, to allow you to strip the cage completely down and do a proper clean. At the moment that can't be done. I'm running out of cage space. Back to the compost heap. Just going to take this nest apart now, which have a little look at what it was Oh, it did. So the bird's left this nest now, and I'll just shut this pair down. So we're going to have a look at how we've done with the mite. Last year, that would have been covered in mite. This would have had like a black dust all over it, which would have been mite. You'd have had dead mite on here. But looking carefully, no mite at all. Absolutely nothing in here. Not yet anyway. What's this? Nope. That's the jute nest liner. Absolutely no mite in there. It's a jute here. A lot of the dust that's coming off it is probably the diatomaceous earth and feather dust. No sign of mite whatsoever. So we have been winning the war, winning battles. This is just a setback. So there you go. Just want to show you that. Right. So I've just got this bird from out of the. See that? This is the bird which got pecked. Its head got pecked really early on in the first round. And if you look carefully at its head now, you can see its feathers are starting to come back, but they're not coming back a lot. Now obviously there's a molt. It could be that this doesn't, I don't know. It might not ever grow back, I don't know. I thought initially by now, being as it was from the first molt, that this would have been okay. So I'm a bit wary that it putting it back in with the other birds, but I need the space. I'll keep an eye on it and we'll drag it out if I need to. So going back in with the others. Got their brothers and sisters in there. Let's just hope they don't mess around with her head. I'll keep an eye on it today. And we'll see. I'm going to get the other one now. Right, this one just had a few feathers plucked from its back, really. I felt it was getting picked on a little bit. Its tail feathers are messy, but they will they'll grow back. There you go. It's a lot healthier now. So I was just removing it from the other ones so it didn't get picked on. And if it happens again, I can grab them quickly. By then I'll. Oh, thanks. By then I probably would have got a cage to put back in, but I need to clean these cages out. So now I can move on and clean that cage out. This one, move these along, and then start working down the cages, cleaning them out. Now ready for the warm water, so I've just got a normal sponge, hot water, and then I've added some boiling water in there as well. That's actually quite hot. Ooh. It will get cold quite quick. So I'm doing quite a bit on the walls. Partition's not important, so I will be taking it out. So we'll just leave that. We'll do these sections here. But I'll get you to join in. And initially, don't get the muck off straight away, but it softens it up a bit. And perhaps the next time round, the next wet sponge. start to come off. There as well. And along the front panel. And that bottom tray along the bottom. It's already starting to cool down the water now. And looking at the interior, last year this is an area where I would have had mite everywhere, especially up in these areas just up here where the light is, the LEDs are. In fact, it might be where they still are now. Maybe that's where they've come from. You can't tell because the light's too bright, but just up there I can see residue of last year's mite. It must be dead mite. This area where I just couldn't get any cleaner into it. And when you're building cages, you really got to think about this. You know, am I encouraging mite by having a crack along there, or an area where they can just squeeze in? And you really are. You've got to try and. Fortunately, you have to learn by your mistakes. So if you can take anything from my videos, I always admit my mistakes, and it's from your mistakes that you learn. So I built this shed. Bear in mind that I'd made mistakes on a previous shed years and years ago, and we had the mice. This shed was built to be mouse proof. And then on comes the mite, and then you start spending all your time thinking about how you can combat the mite. Mice and mite. Starting to come off. Of course, it's important what paint you use. This is a eggshell finish, interior paint. It's not an emulsion. It's not an emulsion. So an emulsion, I'd be doing this and you're rubbing it off. So it's not a wall paint. It's a wood paint. So it just is an eggshell finish. So it's like your gloss, but not a gloss. And it's water based because I cannot stand cleaning brushes with tips. It's a water based paint. In fact, I've got the tin. I'll go and get it. There you go. So this is what I use. It's not cheap. About £15 a tin, I think. That's only a 750ml tin of paint. Period collection, doesn't have to be that, of course. It's a nice colour, I like it. It's called Flagon, this one is. It's by Crown Paints. Eggshell finish. I can just dip the brush in that, paint it on. 2 coats this has had, but also it's had 2 coats of undercoat and a previous paint underneath of that. But you might get away with 1 coat each year if you're using the same colour. And I can wash the brush in water, which I think is so much easier because I can paint a cage the day after, come back, paint a cage, or I can wait a few days. I haven't got to look after the brush. I hate wasting brushes. That's that. And these pages are just a just tops and the bottom side. Put the shelves in onto basically a shelf ledge, same as in there, and the one below. Built a frame, which is this frame here, which was just put on the front of it, down the sides along here, to create a lip. These were just a piece of, well, a tongue and groove, but I just used the female part of the tongue, so the groove. Got rid of the rest, and I've just put this quadrant around to run the shelf in. So obviously I would put the shelf in with a little bit of a spacer to work out exactly where these go, so that the shelf can go in. Another groove at the top. Obviously the partitions have to be cut to measure. That's it really. Grooves here, and this is where Mite can be. Last year this was full of Mite, and this year, if it will focus, you can see residue of Mite from last year. It's where they collect. Is that one there? That might be one there. Then I redeveloped it. You can see where I did have one previously there, groove. I got rid of the grooves for this particular. I had to move where they were, and I decided to just get rid of the grooves. So my advice is to not have these grooves. Don't give them anywhere to live. Is that a Mite? Let's have a zoom in. Yep, it's moving. So we've got a Mite. Little bugger. I'm just going to use a bit of the D powder. I'm just going to splat it over it a bit if I can. What I've done is I've just sort of splattered it over, and I'll just sort of try and get it into those grooves. It's not pretty. Hopefully it'll do the job. Yep, so we've got that into the cracks now. I'm not going to go into the trying to deep clean into there and clean them out. They're in there now. Let's just try and kill them. Right, okay, so cage is pretty much ready to. This needs a bit more of a clean. The good thing about these trays is because I did varnish them, and they've had probably 2 coats of varnish, maybe 3 since I built them. And we had the Mite last year. Is that I did do some preparation to stop the Mite, which it hasn't of course, but what it has done is really made a massive difference. So last year this tray would have been absolutely coated in Mite round here. You'd have had Mite blood striped across it as I pulled it out, and it's squashed loads of Mite. Mite along the front would have been so much of it, but I've filled in the cracks with polyfiller and caulking. Undercoated the areas, then I've top coated it as well, revarnished all the edges again, making sure that there's no cracks, and it's all smooth. And although we've seen that Mite on the top where the little cracks are, the little grooves, no Mite in the tray at all. So it's been a success massively. I'm ready to put these trays back now, so I'm going to use the D powder again. I'm going to try and put the cage, this is number 13. These are made to measure, so it's important that you number them. First thing I'm going to do is put the Mite powder in there. This is all on a video I did probably back in February. It was 17th of February, setting up the bird cages. So first thing I'm going to do is sprinkle the Mite powder around there, dust it off the edges there. There's enough around the edges here that any Mite that wants to try and live in those areas will be able to do it. And there we go, trays in. I'm going to do this outside of the cage. At the moment Right, it's easy to do, so there you go. This is kiln dried sand. I suppose you could use any sand really, but this is it's going to be dry. Give them some savings. Get from any of the pet stores. I think there's plenty of better products than that really, but that will do me. It just helps to soak up any moisture from the from poo. This side. These are the perches. Also, it's got wet there, but I've dipped it in the diatomaceous earth. So again, areas where they would normally live. I'm trying to put these in the same place every time. I know that's where it works regarding putting in the nest pan, and then we want to leave a nice gap from there to the other side really. So ideally I don't put one in there, but just going to put one down here because I've separated this bird with the father from the chick, so he's going to want to feed them, so I'm going to need a perch there for him to stand on. They were just getting a bit scrappy with him, and we've had the one death already, so I didn't want to. And last round he fed them through the wire perfectly fine anyway, so I've got to make sure that he's got food and they've got food, which I'll do in a moment. But those are now ready for me to let the birds back in. So there we go, we've got perches, a bit of broccoli there. We'll keep the food off the ground. This is the egg food. We'll keep it off the ground, which again helps Mite. The wires all cleaned around here. We've put Mite powder in the grooves up there, and I'm much more happy about that. We have parents and 2 young in that one. That I'll clean out later on, I think. We're going to move on to all the other cages as we go down, although they're not so bad. I've got to be careful not to disturb the nesting birds. This one's just making a nest at the moment, nothing yet. But I think we've won a battle against the Mite today. Well, we've certainly put up some preventions against the dreaded Mite. Hope you've picked up some information to help you with the Mite issues today, or at least some warnings of what can happen, and how to limit the Mite, if not perhaps completely eradicate it. I've got a few more little jobs to do in here, but thanks for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like button. If you'd like to share the video, that'd be great as well. And any comments, I'll try to get back to you on it. And once I've finished in here, I've just got a bit more tidying up to do. Top up their waters, I think, in a few places. Sort out their food and bits and bobs like that. We'll get that back in here. Time to have a shower. Get any of the pesky mites out of me if there's any on me. Alright, thanks for watching, and see you again next week. Take care. Bye.